If you've ever found yourself curious on how sharks actually breathe, this video is going to explain just a little bit of that to you. So if you guys are all familiar with sharks, you would know that on the side of every shark there are these things called gills. Now most sharks have 4 to 5 and some can have up to 6 or 7. Now what gills are on a shark is that when the shark is swimming, water is coming in through the open mouth and they're collecting oxygen in the gills. And it's just filtering back out through the gills and actually getting filtered by the gills. So that's part of the reason why when you look at sharks, they will swim with their jaws half open or half closed, and it's another reason why sharks have to constantly be swimming. You will rarely find a shark that isn't swimming. Now, this is actually pretty cool. There are some sharks that are actually able to remain perfectly still. Now, sharks like the swell shark is actually able to pump its own oxygen, but there are also reported, cases of things like white-tip reef sharks and even tiger sharks finding special caves that they're actually able to lay perfectly still in because there's water currents that come through and they're actually still able to breathe. And as a species of creature that, things like a hammerhead or a great white, they will be swimming from the day that they're born to the day that they die. And that's got to get exhausting. Now, what scientists think sharks do is that they have half of their brain sleeps, other half's on, and then it switches back and forth. Honestly, that's pretty cool to me. I like to think the fact that sharks have to constantly be breathing, it's kind of cool, kind of interesting to me. As, humans, we can hold our breath and our lungs hold what oxygen we have left, whereas a shark has to constantly have open water moving through its mouth and through its gills to remain breathing. And that's another big issue with human and sharks is fishermen, when they catch sharks, they don't always take the best care of sharks. Yes, you will have sharks that people will pull out and they'll be fine out of the water for a couple minutes, but when you have people that catch hammerheads or tiger sharks and they have them out of the water for 10, 15 minutes, it's not very, good for the shark. That's why you ever look at a lot of researchers and scientists and marine biologists, when they have sharks, especially when they pull sharks into their boats, they'll actually put hoses through the shark's mouth that run over the gills. This lets them actually work on the shark. Even if it's for the same amount of time that the fishermen are, it actually lets the shark be perfectly fine. You'll also see cases where if they have a very large shark, they'll actually get in the water and swim with the shark and make sure it's good and water is moving over its mouth and through its gills before they send it on its way, because obviously you don't want to catch a creature and end up being the reason it dies. And if you're catching a shark, remember, keep it, get it back in the water pretty quickly. Don't have it out and about, especially because they constantly need to have that water that comes over in through the gills, because things like dolphins and whales, they can actually get completely beached up on the shore and actually end up being perfectly okay because people are able to keep them wet with their water on them and they're still able to breathe. These are they're oxygen-breathing creatures, they're mammals. Whereas in a shark, if it's beached, unless someone helps it pretty quickly, it's probably going to end up dying. Anyways, hope this video made you guys a little bit smarter, helped you kind of understand more about what gills are on a shark, how they actually breathe. And if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Join the Discord that's linked down below in the description, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.